Alright, so for now, for edit quiz, I closed all these files. I just have manage quizzes and add quiz page. So for this editing a quiz, we are going to reuse the same add quiz page. So first thing, let's rename this add quiz to save quiz, because now this page is going to be used for both adding a new quiz or and editing, updating an existing quiz. So save quiz makes more sense. And then on this page, we'll have one more page directive here, because we want a second URL as well. So the URL structure is up to you. You can form your URL structure whatever way you want. What I'll do, I'll simply follow this convention which I'm using for add quiz. And for edit quiz, I'll have this edit hyphen quiz. And here I need to have quiz ID. So I'll say quiz ID. This is going to be nullable GUID. Save it. And now for this quiz ID, I am going to have a parameter in my code section. Here I'll say prop nullable GUID. This should be quiz ID. This will be parameter. And then I'm going to have one helper property as well, computed property, to determine if this is edit case or create new case. So this edit case would be when we have this quiz ID and it is a valid quiz ID. So we'll say if quiz ID is not null, or we can say quiz ID dot has value and quiz ID dot value is not equals GUID dot empty, which is default value. If that's the case, then we are sure that this can be private. This is edit case. So for this thing, we have this add new quiz static method here, static text here. So this should be dynamic now. So here we'll have this thing. We'll say if this is edit case, we'll say update quiz. If that's not the case, we'll say add a quiz or add new quiz. Okay. After this, we will see. Okay, when we are in on initialized async, here what we'll do, we will check if this is edit case. Then what we'll do, we'll fetch underscore quiz from the API. If that's not the case, then we need to do this thing. Okay, whatever we were doing, but we'll fetch categories regardless of whether it is edit case or create new case. We need list of categories here. All right, now let's see if we have this underscore quiz. So this is quiz save DTO. We need to have this quiz save DTO returned from the API. So let's go to our API services, quiz service. Let's see if we have some method for this. So right now we have save quiz, get quizzes, and get quiz questions async, and we don't have that method. So let's quickly create that method. Public async task quiz save DTO, and here we'll say get quiz to edit async, and here we'll get quiz ID as a parameter, and from here we need to return quiz save DTO, which has main quiz details, then question DTO, list of question DTO, and then each question DTO has a list of options DTO. Let's do this. Here we'll say var quiz equals await context dot quizzes dot where q dot id equals quiz id. Then we'll say select qz, which is for quiz. We'll say new quiz save DTO. Then we are going to have the items here: ID, category ID, is active, name, then time in minutes, then total questions. Then we are going to have questions. Now questions is a list of question DTO. We need these things. Here we'll say qz dot questions. Now this questions is a collection of question entity. We need to transform it to question DTO. On this question we are going to say dot select of q equals new question DTO. This is going to be a multi layer kind of query. Okay, inside this we want to have id, q.id, then we'll have text, q.text, then we are going to have options. Now this options is a list of option DTO. This we are going to get from q.options, but now q.options is a collection of option entity. We need to transform this option entity to option DTO. On this options we'll say dot select o goes to new option DTO, and here again we'll transform it with I text id and is correct. O dot is correct. Now to list, this needs to be list, and then questions also needs to be list, and then main thing needs to be first or default async. Now we are good. We have this quiz ready. Now we'll return this quiz. Return quiz. Now we have this warning because this is nullable, so it should be nullable to handle invalid quiz ID. Okay. Now we have this method ready. Let's copy the signature. We'll create an API endpoint for this, and then we'll add it to on web UI Refit client to access this endpoint. Okay. Let's go to endpoints and quiz endpoints. And here we are going to have quiz group dot map get. This is going to be get only, map get, and the initial URL is API slash quizzes. After this we are going to have quiz ID as GUID. Here we'll say async, then this GUID quiz ID, and then quiz service. Then from here we'll simply say results dot okay await service dot get quiz to edit async, and we'll pass quiz ID as a parameter. Now we are good. The URL will be slash API slash quizzes and quiz ID. Let's go to the UI project APIs folder iQuiz API. Here we'll define that. So we already copied the signature. We have this. Then we'll have get. Inside this we are going to have API slash quizzes slash quiz ID. Now our API endpoint is also ready. Now we are good. Now we'll go to save quiz, and here we can try to fetch it from the server. Here we'll say var quiz equals await quiz API dot get quiz to edit async, and we'll pass quiz ID dot value as a parameter. Okay, here we know that this is not null, so we can skip this warning. Then we'll quickly check if quiz is not equals null, or if quiz is null, then we know this is some invalid case. This quiz does not exist. So from here we will not continue on this page, rather we'll return back to the previous page. So here we'll say navigation manager dot navigate to, and we can return back to this page. manage quizzes page. You can display an alert message as well if you want to. So here we are good. After this, we'll simply return from here. We will not continue further. If that's not the case, then we'll simply say underscore quiz equals this quiz. Then it should have everything in here. All right, let's save everything. Okay, now there is one case. Okay, let me run it and I'll show you what I'm saying. Maybe we should have or we should not have anything for edit case. Adding a new question by default. That shouldn't be here, right? Okay, maybe with this we are good. So we are in on add quiz page. Everything is fine. We'll go to manage quizzes. View questions works fine. Edit. Oh, we didn't map it. Oh. Okay, from manage quiz, we'll quickly see the URL we are talking about is this. We wanted to return to this URL, navigate to this URL from manage quizzes. And here we have this button, type button. For edit, we can change this button to anchor tag. Class will leave like this. For href, we are going to have this admin slash edit hyphen quiz slash quiz id. We need this quiz id, which will be at the rate q.id. Save it, and now we should be good. Okay, manage quizzes, edit, and we are here. Category is pre-filled, name, number of questions, time in minutes, question, options is correct. Everything got picked up here. Fine. It was not active. Let's make it active. Or was it? If you go to the previous page, oh, we are not having that active flag here. Okay. Let's say this is active. We'll save this quiz. And we came here. Let's go back to edit again. This time we can see this is active flag true. That means this is working. Now let's do this. Let's add an option here. We'll say no idea. And then save. Let's add it again. Now we can see we have three options. That means saving is also working. And this update quiz, this is also here. If we go to add quiz, and now we have one situation here. You see, I clicked on this add quiz, but this changed, but nothing else has changed here. Now what happened? This changed, and if you see URL is also changed. That means it was able to navigate to this page. It changed this heading, but it didn't change all of these things. The thing is, when we click on it, how Blazor or all the front end frameworks, single page application frameworks works. If we have some component rendered already, and if we try to render the same component again, what I mean is we have this save quiz Blazor razor page, which is a component of course. So it was already there in edit format, in edit form. This is the same razor component. If I do add quiz, it will again going to render the same component which already was there. In this case, it does not throw the current component, create a new instance, rather it reuses the same component. Now if you go here, it came here, it tried to render the same component. This time what happened, this was already there, that means this on initialized did not get triggered because it was already initialized. This component was already there. It didn't come, but it re-rendered. In this case, whatever it found, it re-rendered. And what did it found? It found that quiz id is 0 or null in this case. Is edit case, this is a computed property, so it was false. That's why it came here and it tried to execute this. This time is edit case was false, so it rendered this add new quiz. But it didn't reset this underscore quiz because we didn't ask it to do it, and it never called this on initializing. So we need to handle this case. How we can handle this? So whenever the parameters of the component, in this case we have only this one parameter, whenever the parameters of the component gets changed, all the front-end frameworks, they call some lifecycle method in Blazor. That method is called on parameter set and on parameter set async methods. So we are going to use that lifecycle loop method. Here what we'll do, we'll say override on parameter set. It gets executed after setting the parameter. Now here what we'll do, we'll specifically go to this case which we just saw. What was this case? We were in edit mode. That means the quiz.id was not empty. But now this quiz ID is empty. Or maybe we can have this initially, or maybe quiz ID does not have any value. Okay, so this case, what we are saying, that right now quiz ID does not have any value. That means this is a new case. Okay. After that we are saying and quiz.id is not empty. So for new case, the first new case, it will be false. It will not do anything, because in this case this condition evaluates to true, but this is not, because initially for the fresh add new case this is empty, so it will not come and it will not go inside this, it will simply pass through. Then if we are in edit mode for the first time, it will come here, it will check this case, this is going to be false, it will not go inside this, it will skip this, and we are good. Now the third case, we are on edit mode and we clicked on add new quiz case. Then it will come here, it will check, okay, quiz id does not have value, but underscore quiz.id has a value. That means it was in edit mode. Now we are trying to open add new mode. So in this case, what we need to do, we simply need to reset this underscore quiz. We'll do this here. We were in edit mode and we clicked on add new quiz on the left nav menu. I can put a breakpoint here and show you how this is working. But first we'll see if this is working. This should work. Or maybe we'll not waste our time. We'll simply have breakpoint here and then inside here. First, let's come to this add quiz case, the initial case. It came here. If we'll see has value, this quiz ID is null and quiz.id is going to be empty. But what happened here? Quiz.id, I think it's not right. Yeah, quiz.id is default. Right, default means empty. It is empty, so it didn't go inside this. It simply passes through. Continue. Add new case. Go to manage quizzes. Edit case. Now it will again come here. This time quiz ID has some value. But underscore quiz.id, it is still empty. Sorry, no empty. Oh, because this is a edit case. So it is not empty. It will not come here inside this if case, and we are good. Now right now this component is already here. Now if I click on this add quiz, it will again come here, and this time quiz id is null. That means this condition evaluates to true, and quiz.id is not empty. It still has the previous id. So this condition also evaluates to true. Now we'll come inside this and we'll reset this underscore quiz, because right now we are in add new quiz mode, so we should not have anything inside this. We'll continue, and if we'll see, we have everything here, but it does not have any question. We'll fix this, but right now we are in add new quiz mode and we can see everything is empty. Let's quickly handle this case as well. It should be the same case what we have in on initialized for the default case, this thing. So let's maybe copy this thing and add here, or maybe let's directly get this question here and add it here directly, like with the default question. So I'll simply remove these breakpoints and let's quickly start. Again, we'll quickly see if it shows that one empty question. Add quiz, we are good. Manage quizzes, add it, we are good. And when we click on add quiz, we can see all the things are reset. We have one question, we have add question, add option, everything ready. So that means this thing is also working. Now we are good with add quiz, we are good with managing quiz, we are good with viewing the questions inside that quiz, and then we are good with edit case as well. All right. Now next thing what we'll work on, we'll work on UI. We'll try to make it look good. Okay, we'll try to have some different styling, some different font colors, and kind of different things. We'll do this next.